What's up, everybody? Tweets here. In this video, I'm going to do a quick little tutorial on custom food items. So like for instance, if you want to make like just a retextured drink, for example, first things first, you got to create your folder in your P drive, as always. And then if you're doing multiple folders, like if you're gonna have like multiple items like drinks, meats, or whatever, breads, whatever, then you're gonna want a main config, which will look like this. Your CFG mods config part, which will tie everything into one PBO. It's gonna be like this. If you're not using any scripts, it's gonna look like this. If it's gonna look like scripts, or if you're gonna use scripts, you can just, I'll just take a sample from something that I've made. You can just add, I'll just add this portion to it and show you. Now, I'm not going to use anything. This is just food items, so you're not going to need world. You're not going to need game. You're going to need world. So you're going to make sure you have world and give it the name of your folder like that. So it'll be custom food scripts for world. And then that's what you're going to want it to look like. Then, once you have that, you will get, if you're doing like a drink, you can go to your P drive, DayZ, data, not data, sorry, gear, go to drinks, and then you go into their data, and this will have all their PAAs for all their drinks, and you can just pick up like a soda can, any of them, cola, or anything. It'll look like this here. Let's load it up in GIMP. So that would be their cola. Now, you can do what I did and just get like a label or make a label for something else. In this case, I did a can of whoop ass. And as you just see, I just put it over theirs. I lined it up the best I can with where their labels are. And that's what I did. And then you'll save it. Once you have it over, you'll save it as a different name. So export as, and I put soda can underscore whoop ass underscore co dot PAA, and then you export it to your file that you're working on. And that's it for the tester part. Now in the config, I already did it here, but I'll show you how to do it. You can just go to their DayZ, gear, drinks, open up their config. Now you're going to want to take the top half. So this little bracket here, up below CFG vehicles and up, and then open a new here. And then you're going to look for this, whatever you make it. So in this case, a soda. So you can hit find soda and then hit enter until you see it. You're going to want this whole thing here. And then you're going to put it right underneath, just like that. And then you're going to create a class above it. Now here you're going to take their class name, soda can color base. You're going to make that your base class. And then you're going to call it whatever you want, like custom soda or whatever. You're going to want to make sure, because you're using their config, you're going to want to make sure you have scope 2 to it. I copied over the wrong one though, so you want to take the one right here, soda can Pepsi. You're going to want to look for one that has like the Pepsi or cola, and then you're going to want to copy that one over. It was a little while since I made this, so there we go. But it'll still be soda can color base. This Pepsi uses the same thing. And then just make sure you get the class name. Then you're going to change your display to whatever, um, random shit I'll put, but, and then your description, whatever you want for it, blah, blah, blah. And then you're going to put the path to your texture. So we're going to go to our folder, find our texture, copy our path to it, and then get our name of the PAA. Now you're not going to need any of these, but it won't hurt it. So I would actually recommend keeping it on there. And then once you've done that, you can also change this class up here and units, add your class name and remove the others in that last comma, so it'll look like that. And then that will be it. Then you'll have a custom soda. So you're going to save that as, find your folder, here's drinks, and then you do save it as C++ config, and then that's it. Now, you can get creative if you're doing like other items like states or breads or whatnot. You could get creative and just get models online. It's going to be this very same process as you did with the soda. If you're using a custom model, then you're going to have to get a little more technical. So like if you're using like a meat model, so we go to theirs and look at theirs, you can see under theirs that they have different base colors for their meats. So if you look at, we're looking for theirs steaks. So you'll see that they have boiled, burned, and they have different RV mats for each one, raw. And it's pretty much, so if we took theirs and opened it, so say we got the raw steak, and then we'll take, say we'll get a baked one. It's going to be the same texture. They just edited it. So what you could do is take the raw, which is going to be what you add to your P3D. And then, so you'll add the raw texture to your P3D. And then you can then take that raw texture that came with your model. You can like mess with it until it's like got a more of a cooked look to it. I mean, I'm not going to get exact, but you just mess with like the hue chroma till you get something similar. I mean, it's not going to be perfect. Because I'm not really rushing through it. And then you can like see how they got little marks on it. So you can either get something to overlay it, or you can get like a brush thing, change the brush, get a little color to it, find a color that you'd want, and then you can just like, not obviously not like something that crazy, but just start adding like little things to it, unless you can find like a pattern overlay that you can overlay it, and then get like what you could use what I have here. Actually, I have a blood texture, but it's transparent. You can actually edit. You can do something like this. So if you can find, just Google search like transparent blood or spots or stains or whatever. You can overlay it, and then you could make sure you have that layer selected. and then just change the brightness of it till it's dark, and then move it around until you get kind of what you want. I mean, whatever works really. And then you could just change the opacity on it a little bit till you get what you want. And then obviously you're going to find something better and you're going to take a little more time. I'm just showing an example. And then you could get margins on it until you have something similar. And then you just save that as baked. So you'll export that and you'll give it like your custom name, whatever. And then instead of raw, baked. And you'll do the same thing for burnt. If it's burnt, you'll just darken it even more. You can even change the brightness of the actual thing and just get it really dark. And then export that as burnt. And that's going to be it. So in the model part in your P3D, you're going to want to have it set up like a normal P3D. You're going to have the main LOD. I'll show an example of one that I've done in the past for one of my buddies. I can't include any of this files, but I will show you an example of what a meet will look like. So I would have just the main LODs, which would be the item itself. You'll have a hidden selection of ZBTech CS raw, and you would have the main texture that came with it, and then it's not edited or nothing. It's just the main texture that came with it. So it's not the raw one, it's not the burnt one. And then you'll have your main RV mat, and then you'll have, I just did 5 LODs of that, and they all have property names of Auto Center, LOD No Shadow 1. Then you got your geometry, normal geometry, Auto Center, memory, normal memory, bounded box, min mat, CE center, CE radius, in view, and then view and fire geometry. So it's all normal, a normal P3D. And it's the same way for anything like trophies, cards, bottle caps, whatever. It's the same type of setup. The only difference is you're not going to use CS raw for those types of items. This is just for food items that go through that. So that's pretty much it. And then you'll just save it as whatever. Now your model trim fade will be a basic model trim fade. Now this one's longer just because I did a lot of items, but you'd have your basic model trim fade, and you'll want to have your CS raw and ZB Tech in your hidden selections. That's it. Now for the trim fade, you would just need to go to DayZ, gear, food, open their trim fade for food. And then same thing with you can see that it's already on one of the states. Same thing we did with the soda can. So I would create a new blank, go to the top, take there. You don't need this part here. So on the state one, you're going to take the top from line 20 and up, copy it, scroll down till you find the CFG vehicles part right here. Take that and that little bracket, and then just find the state again. So you can hit find state, and this one says human meat. It's very similar anyways, but you don't want that. I'll go with the goat steak. So you copy theirs, make sure you get all of that, because that is everything you're going to want for it. And now we're going to give it, mess with it. So we're going to add another class above. We're going to give the base class the goat state. Change this to whatever your class is going to be. And then take that class name, put it up here, and in units, get rid of, just like the soda, do your whatever crap for the display and description, get the path to your model. I'm not having one on here, so I'm just showing you guys. You don't have to mess with any of this. You don't have to mess. This is just the slots for where it goes on, like the sticks or the oven or fireplaces. You got the CS raw hidden selection. Now you have the path to each one of your textures: the raw, baked, boiled, dried, and burnt. And then the path to each of the RV mats. That's all you're gonna have to mess with. The rest, you can leave it as is, and then just close it out. And then save it as a config.cpp in your mod folder with your meat. Now, the RV mats, what you could do is just look at theirs. So just take from theirs. So go to their states, and you'll see, once we get down to meat here, go to the states. So you'll look at their burnt RV mat. It just has their stage 1 no HQ. This is the stuff that's going to be more important. And then you'll see that they don't have anything else. They don't even have an SMDI. So no metallic, just the no HQ that comes with your model. And then that, so you'll just copy their burnt RV mat and then add the path to your no HQ and save it as like whatever your meat is _ burnt RV mat. You could do the same thing for everything else: dried, raw, and rotten, and that's it. And then just add it to the config, back to your config, and path it to your RV mats and their hidden selection materials. And that's gonna be it for the states. Then you can get creative and do, I showed you guys in the past on your recipes. I showed you how to do recipes in the past with the scripts. So you can do crazy stuff like that, like make bread, sliced bread, and then you could make recipes with that. So you can combine like a loaf of bread with a knife will get you like sliced bread with like states will get you a state sandwich or and whatnot. You just have to make the models, and it's the same like I just showed you with that one burger patty that I made. It's the same thing for everything. You just get your main mods and your geometries and memories. The only thing is on those, it's not a cooking item. You don't need CS raw, just CBTech, and that's it. You just keep making models like that of bread. You can size it with something vanilla with a proxy, like I've done with guns in the past. Like a loaf of bread, you could probably compare it to like a bag of rice. Size it with the proxy of a vanilla bag of rice, and then boom. And then the sky's the limit pretty much after that. You just find a model, make it, configure it, give it the scripting recipe if you want it to be a crafting item. And then you just keep having fun with it. And then you just start getting into crazy stuff like making all these different sandwiches and stuff, or burgers, or just, the sky's the limit pretty much after that. And that video is on my YouTube already for crafting recipes. It's actually pretty easy to do. If you want to look at their scripts too and do some scripting for the food items, like you just go to your P drive, scripts, for world, entities, item base, edible base. And here it's going to have all their scripts. So say you want the steak. Just look for, I think in here it's meat, but I could be wrong. Here it is. Deer, they have each one. So they have deer, steak, meat. So each meat is scripted differently. You'll see here, can be put true. Can be put on stick, true. If you want to script it to change some things where it can't be put on a script, then you would just put the class name to your steak, leave edible, and then change like trues to false. And then save it in your scripts folder. And that will turn it so that item can't be put on a stick. Or if you want to remove decay, just change trues to false and save it as a different script. So you'll be changing to your class name. So it'll be whatever your class name is, edible base, 10 decay, false. Then you can just save it as, put it in your, if you had a scripts folder, you'd have scripts. It's the same thing with what we just went through with theirs. Entities, item base, oopsies, item base, edible base, whatever, and then put your script, and then just change the name to whatever your class is, same as the class name, and then boom, that's it. Now you have a new script, and it's calling on the custom steak that you made, or custom food, and then boom, that's it. And you could just look around too and browse, see how a lot of things are done. But that's pretty much it for food items. It's all pretty simple, but if you have any questions, you can join my Discord. Also, before I end this video, I'm gonna do a quick little thing here on PBO project. So I've had some people show me a lot of questions, add some issues with warnings and all that stuff. First thing you're going to want to do is make sure you have noisy to log ticked. So that way when you get an error or it fails to pack, you can click view output, a notepad will pop up, scroll to the bottom, and you'll see all the errors there at the bottom. And it's better detailed. Also, click on setup. Click on warnings are errors. Make sure this one here is unticked. And then if you pause this video, you can see what I have ticked here. Make sure you do the same. And then that'll get rid of a lot of problems when packing. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, if you have any questions, join my Discord and have fun with it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.